Hi guys, Ronan here with another OBS video, and this one is going to go over the settings that I have in the preferences. It's going to be a very quick video, and a lot of people ask, what bitrate you use on your videos, what bitrate you use streaming compared to recording, and there is differences there. So I just want to go through absolutely everything here. So general is pretty standard. I mean, the theme, you've got a couple of different looks that you can put on your OBS, just to make it a little bit different and and customizable to yourself. I just like the dark one because I think it's easier on the eyes. Along here, I leave a lot of this stuff as the default settings. I haven't seen a point to change it just yet, but the next one there is going to be a couple of changes. Stream is basically you add in your stream key to whatever platform that you're streaming to. So I stream to the YouTube, and it is the Republic of Gaming YouTube channel, and I go to the YouTube channel and grab the stream key, and that's where it goes in here. I'm not going to show you because then you'll be able to stream directly to my YouTube channel. Never show this key to anybody, especially if you don't trust them anyway, because they can stream anything they like to your channel, and that could be very bad for you. So go down to output. Now there's a lot of changes that I make in this section, so I'll just go through every one of them. Make sure this is put to advanced. I think it's simple at the start. Make sure that's turned on to advanced. So the first one here is your audio. So if you can see here, this is the streaming section. So audio track, this is very handy for if you want to split up your audio tracks into, say you want your microphone to be separate to your gameplay, and you want to then mix the two, maybe turn down the gameplay volume because it's too high. If you set this to 2, well then you can do that. You can separate both inputs of volume, inputs and outputs. So I just leave that to 1 because I usually do a lot of the mixing pre-recording or pre-streaming, so I leave that at 1. Encoder, it's best to use this one here, X264. I have Enforce Streaming Service Encoder settings. Click that. The rescale output I don't change because I am working off a 920 1080p monitor, so this is perfect for me. The rate control, I have it to CBR. I'd never really seen much point of changing it to any of the other ones, but CBR is fine. Bitrate I like to leave pretty low on the streaming side of things, just because a lot of the streaming platforms don't actually allow you to stream over 2500. Now other people might tell me I'm wrong on that, but for YouTube I know that there's no point actually pushing past that, because what YouTube does is actually takes it down. So if I was to stream at 10,000 bit rate, it would still bring it back to, I think the limit is 2500. It could be 3, but I haven't seen much point on changing this for streaming. Use custom buffer size, I have that unticked. Keyframe intervals 0. CPU usage preset higher equals less CPU, I have that to very fast, and I leave the rest unchanged. So move over to recording. Now this is the one that I use an awful lot. I like to record rather than stream a lot more, so I like to have the quality as best I can. So again, make sure this is set to advanced. Type, make sure you hit standard. The recording path is important, so what I would do is, if you have an external hard drive, I would have your videos saved to the external hard drives, just so you're not taking up space on your main hard drive. I have a 250 gig SSD, and I don't want video after video piling up on that because it would get full very quickly. So I changed that to an external. I think it's actually set to my, yeah, it's not changed at the moment, but if I was you, I would go and change that to an external hard drive, or a hard drive that doesn't have Windows and all your main programs installed on it. Generate file name without space, I untick that. Recording format is, I believe it's FLV at the start. Now I change it to MP4 because it's a lot easier to work with MP4. FLV seems to have a lot of different problems that I have encountered, that some platforms don't use it, you need to convert over. Now OBS actually has a converter installed, but I'm not going to go through that today. I can show that another day. So MP4 is just the easiest for me. Audio track, exactly the same as before with the streaming. It is just how many tracks you want recorded from your recording. Encoder, this is important to change this. This is basically connected to my graphics card, I believe, and NVENCH 0.264 is the best encoder that I can use for this. Rescale output is 920 by 1080, 1920 by 1080, same again. Leave everything else the same. Down here, the rate control, if this is any different, make sure to change it to CBR. And the bitrate, this is where you can go a little bit more with recording. You can actually push this up to, I've seen people doing it to 50,000, but when I pushed it to 50,000 I seemed to get a couple of frame rate drops and my system was heavily burdened, so I changed it to 20,000 and it's perfect for me. I mean, the quality is just, it's amazing quality. Preset is left the same, profile, main, that's all the same. And down here, B frames, if that's not 2, check that to 2. And also this use 2 pass encoding, also check that. Audio, I pretty much leave, I think I leave everything here the exact same. I don't touch any of that. So I mean, you can go through that and see what works for you, but for the time being, that is, so what the reason why I don't touch this is because this is your default settings, and I usually just change, if I add a scene I will change it within the scene. But if you know that you're going to be using the same microphone every time, you can set your microphone to here, so every time you bring in the microphone you don't have to select it in the drop down menu. But I don't see a point for that for my setup. Video, this is the resolution that you're going to be recording and the output, and I like to record at 1080 because that's what my system is built for. Common FPS, this is going to actually change as well. This is set at 30 I believe, and the new standard now is 60 frames, so I push that up to 60 frames. And if your computer is struggling a little bit, you can drop that back down to 30 here. And make sure this is changed to, I believe it's bilinear first, and I found that this one works better for recording, so that's what I changed that to. Hotkeys is just another way to make your workflow a lot better. You can change, shortcuts for scenes, and I've covered a little bit of that in the last video, but I want to do a full-on hotkey tutorial at some stage, so I won't be doing that today. But that's just keys that you can click, and you don't need to be going into settings, and you don't need to be clicking on a scene to get to that scene. You can have a certain scene with Alt and Z, and when you hit Alt and Z it will flick to that scene, so that's just kind of handiness sake. The advance is another important one. It's process priority. Sometimes people put this to high, but I think normal is okay. I think it can put too much of a strain on the computer if it's put too high, so I leave that at normal. Rendering is Direct3D 11. Color format is NV12. YUV color space is 601, and the color range is full. Auto monitoring device I leave at default, and disable Windows audio ducking I leave ticked. Recording, file name formatting, I honestly don't know what this is. I think that's just the name that the file is recorded on, but I changed that anyway. And pretty much everything else is left the same. So that's really it for my settings. I've been happy with this, but I'm always willing to go in and tweak them and try and find what works better. I mean, I'm going to be adding another 8GB of RAM to bring it up to 16GB of RAM on my system in a couple of weeks. I'm going to have to go in and, I'll have a little bit more leeway and a bit more headroom to push it a little bit more. So always be willing to take this as a base and then try and figure out what works for your system, because every system is different. So this has been Ronan from the Republic of Gaming. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comment section and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thank you, and I'll see you again.